Hi everyone, it's Rochie and it's Thursday night once again. That's, I would say, Monday morning in Manila. So, welcome to another episode of Getting Candid with Rochie. And tonight we have a very special guest. She's one of my first and closest allergy friends. And it's weird because most of my allergy friends are actually online. She's one of those who I have the privilege to have met personally, and we actually kicked off from there, which is so nice, right? Because it's really nice to have somebody that you can say a friend that you actually met in person. So anyway, tonight's I would say episode or title is called Vegan 101. So I know most of you guys are curious of the vegan diet. Maybe you're already vegan, vegetarian, wanted to try being vegan. Make sure to click the share button and share it to your friends because tonight we have some nice Q&A, and I hope if you have any questions, just put them in the comment section, and we're more than happy to hear your feedback, your experience, and also we're happy to answer your questions about the vegan lifestyle. So, without further intro, let me introduce to you my dear friend Gina of Dairy Free Gina.
Hi everyone. So
Hi,
happy to be here.
Gina.
Hi there. So
Okay.
happy to be here.
Oh, it's nice to see you again. Right?
Yeah, definitely. I hope that we can one day soon again be at an event where we can be together.
I know, right? Actually, guys, if you don't know, I think I met Gina in Maryland, right? Is it?
Baltimore. In
Yeah,
Baltimore
Baltimore, right? In the
yep.
Expo East.
At Expo East, and we had a dinner together. Yeah.
Yeah. See, and at that time, I didn't even know that she's Dairy Free Gina because, sometimes we don't really pay attention on the pictures in this one, and we're like, oh, hi, hi. Oh, and, well,
We were
and the
just
rest
happy
is
to see each
history.
other, and it was like,
And we got very excited. And one thing I
right.
remember about Gina is that she is just excited. Like she was so excited to talk to me, to share her stories. And I'm like, maybe if we get to hang out like again soon, chances are we'll be talking nonstop, right?
Right. Definitely. I hope that can happen soon again. Who knows? But I hope it's soon.
I know, right? We miss traveling, right? Because I know you travel a
Definitely.
lot too.
Yeah, I haven't traveled. My last trip was February of 2020. That was my very last trip.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's what. See, I haven't gone out for, almost a year. It's just we're
Hmm.
stuck in Jersey
Hmm.
because I haven't even been to New York. Like even just across the bridge. It's hard to be in a different state. So anyway, guys, I just want to introduce to you Gina. She's the blogger behind Dairy Free Gina. She's a speaker, she's a writer, and she's also a vegan for 8 years.
About 8 years. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you know why I'm very excited because I've tried being a vegetarian last year, which Gina supported me so much. It was supposed to be just I would say a religious thing for me because I want to do the 40 days of Lent, and because I am a big meat eater, so I said, you know what, maybe I can give up meat. And Gina was very supportive. I love how she was like, one more day, like every day at a time. And because as a Filipino, we eat lots of meat. Like all our dishes probably has meat on it. Even if you say it's a vegetable dish, you would see some ground meat in there or something. So she's one of those who didn't tempt me. and I realized that 40 that they say 40 days of Lent is not really 40 days because they didn't count the Sundays.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized. I was like, oh, I'm about 45. I'm going 50 days. So it was really a nice experience. So maybe we'll talk about that soon. because before you're not a vegan, so I know you
No,
see
I
the
mean,
difference, right?
yeah, I mean, I grew up in a house eating meat. I was never really like a, I didn't, I ate a lot of chicken and fish. I wasn't really big into red meat, but I just decided that's what I wanted to do. I wasn't eating a lot of meat, and about 8 years ago, I said, after doing some research, I think I'm gonna try this because I don't eat a lot of meat to begin with. So how hard can it be? So that's what I did.
Yeah. So for me, it's like my friends are laughing. Oh, this is the one who's on a low carb or keto diet because she can eat all the meat in the world. That's, but you know what? I'll tell you more. We'll tell you guys more about my experience during that. I would say a very nice detox phase for me. But before that, Gina, how did Dairy Free Gina came about?
Well, I'm actually also food allergic, so I have some food allergies. I'm allergic to all milk products, and I'm allergic to lamb, which is like odd because I really, even growing up, I didn't really eat much lamb, so the lamb is not a huge loss to me. Um, but I was diagnosed as an adult. I was, as a kid, pretty sick, not really like knowing what was wrong with me, and then as an adult, I was diagnosed with the food allergies, and I thought, there's probably other adults out there who get diagnosed with food allergies, or even adults who have children, and it can be very scary when you're first diagnosed. What do I eat? What do I do? If I get a little bit of this food into me, like what could possibly happen? So I thought, I have an education background. I could help people and educate them as to what it really means to have a food allergy. And then mine is particular to milk. And so that's how I developed Dairy Free Gina, the website, the blog, um, and really as a tool to help educate people what it means to have a food allergy, but also to understand you can still eat really well. You can eat delicious foods, and it doesn't have to be something that, I mean, you do have to be very careful. You do have to watch everything you eat and read labels, but at the same time, you can eat and you can have great food and you can really thrive.
Yeah. So before that, if for most people are asking, oh, she got dairy allergy or milk allergy, is it only, can you explain the difference of a dairy allergy compared to what some people know as lactose intolerance?
Well, they're two separate things. So, with the dairy allergy, my body, or with any food allergy, your body sees that food as an invader, as an enemy. And so it sets up an immune response that if you ingest that food, it's going to fight it. And it's going to put out histamines and try to fight that invader that's coming into your body. And if there are times, there are serious cases where people actually die of their food allergy. So food allergy is not really something to fool around with. It's not something to joke about. You can die from a food allergy, even eating a small amount of the food you're allergic to. Whereas an intolerance, lactose intolerance or any other intolerance, it's more of like a sensitivity. So your stomach might get a little upset, but you're not going to die from it, from eating that food. So with lactose intolerance, your body is reacting to the sugar in milk. My allergy, or anybody who has an allergy, you're reacting to the protein that's in the food. So with a milk allergy, I would be reacting, my body sees that milk protein as that invader. Lactose intolerance, it's the sugar aspect. Your body doesn't have the enzymes needed to break down the sugar that's in the milk.
So also, can you explain dairy? Because I know most people right now have I've seen this, have very weird, I would say not as educated on dairy. Like some actually put eggs as part of dairy because it's on that section.
Right, of the supermarket, yeah.
Yeah.
Eggs are a totally separate allergy. If you're allergic to eggs, you could be allergic to eggs and that's it. And you could still, be fine with milk products. Sometimes people are allergic to both, but eggs are not considered part of the milk allergy grouping of foods. So I cannot eat a glass of milk. I can't take a glass of milk or put milk in cereal or bake with milk. I can't have milk based cheese. I can't have milk-based ice cream or milk-based yogurt. But I can have all the substitutes that don't have the milk in it, which are really great these days. So, but eggs are a separate item. So eggs come from chickens and the milk comes from the cows.
Okay. Now, speaking of cows, this here is one question because two of my kids have milk allergy. My older one actually outgrew hers when she turned 13, which is good because she said she loved the ice cream, not the milk itself, but the ice cream. But my other son, actually, my son actually still can't have milk until now. So, is it limited to just cow's milk or other form? Or is the milk from other animals okay?
Well, generally, like it's the cow's milk that they diagnose that, that you would be diagnosed as allergic to. Um, I remember as a kid, my parents tried giving me goat's milk. I got really sick on it. I don't know if I'm really allergic to it or not, but I know definitely I'm allergic to the cow's milk, which is really what's used in, you know, modern day products that you find in a grocery store.
Because actually, when we went to the Philippines, when my kids were younger, I tried because they do have a lot of goat milk available there. So I let him try it. It didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work for
He
me
was
either.
like, and I said, nope, not anymore.
Yep.
So even and then that's why I said no goat cheese as well. Nope,
No,
not worth it.
no, no, not worth it. Not
Yeah.
worth
Yeah, because I think we were not tested for other types of milk, right? There's no testing
Right,
for
you're
that.
just tested for the general cow's milk. So, but like I said, I do remember as a kid being given goat's milk and it made me really sick. So I don't know if I was truly allergic to it. I don't know. But I do know I'm allergic to cow's milk.
So now, because speaking of milk, because I know the vegan diet doesn't have animal byproducts, right? So
Right.
can you explain more about the difference between a vegan and a vegetarian?
So they're close. The differences are small, but generally vegans do not eat anything that's meat related or like a meat byproduct. So vegetarians will still tend to eat eggs, where vegans would not because the eggs come from the chicken. So that would be considered like a meat byproduct or an animal byproduct.
Mm-hmm.
So um, vegans, no meat byproduct. Vegetarians will eat, they do tend to eat eggs. Some of them will eat honey or sometimes even milk or cheese. Um, but vegans don't because that stuff comes right from animals.
So, question: how did you start being a vegan? I mean, yeah, what's
Why?
the
Yeah.
story behind it? Why?
Well, again, I never ate a lot of meat growing up. Certainly it was served to me as a kid, but I just never really had a taste for it. And then, as an adult, sometimes I would cook chicken or fish and um, just doing research and seeing the different types of healthy lifestyles as far as food went, and also the issues with the animals, how they're raised and then slaughtered for meat, and then the whole idea of climate change. It just kind of all came together for me. And I had a cat who loved rotisserie chickens. And I
Oh,
would literally buy her rotisserie chickens because that was the one thing she loved to eat. And when she died, which was about 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, it's like the thought of a rotisserie chicken just like turned my stomach because it just made me sad to think of her. And that
oh.
kind of put together all the research that I was doing. And I was like, you know what? I'm just like, this is it. I'm not eating any more meat.
Wow. Because I'm surprised because some people are just like you. Because I know some of my friends are like, yes, I'm vegan. And right away I'm like, really? You could remove your favorite meatballs, like something
Yeah.
like that, or the fried chicken itself, which is very common. So actually, that was, like earlier I mentioned, I tried to do a vegetarian diet. And it's not because I'm like really fancy or dieting. It's just that, or to lose weight. It's just that it's something that I gave up for Lent. But when I had that, I felt some big changes.
What
Like
did you feel?
really, first off, I feel very light.
Hmm.
Like my body, like I can walk. It's not like, I'm in heaven or something like high like that, but my tummy feels lighter.
Hmm.
And then one thing that I got scared of is that I would get more hungry because protein, the meat products tend to be. They would say you'll be full. You'll feel fuller if you have meat products. So
Mhm.
I was like scared that I might be eating more and more carbs. Yeah,
Mhm.
because most of them are carbs, that I might gain weight. Actually, I lost 8 pounds,
Wow.
almost 10 pounds for just that 40 days, and
Wow.
I never felt deprived. That's the thing. I never felt
Yep.
deprived because, in Jersey we have a lot of vegetarian Indian restaurants,
Mhm.
and they do buffets. So
So
I've
just
been
keep eating all the vegan food.
yes, but like I was there because they were like saying it's vegan, but I'm like it's a buffet, so I feel like because I'm not a big vegetable eater. So because I think when I was younger, vegetables are prepared in a way that it's only had some very few seasonings
Hmm.
and it feels bland for me. I think I want more flavor. So when I went to like the Indian places, they had all these curries,
Yeah.
all this dal, like like very, I would say, strong flavors, and I'm like I'm enjoying it. And I never felt deprived because I'm like, I'm full. I can even have dessert.
Right.
But the difference is I lost weight, not because I wanted to lose weight. It's really from just that eating. And I'm like, I'm not really doing anything special. And then I would say my hair was healthier at that time. My skin got healthier because it's a full 40, 50 days, like a few. Yeah, it's more than what? How many months is that? So yeah, it's over almost 2 months, and I would say, and that one, so I'm healthier, and I miss the feeling of lightness in my tummy,
Hmm.
and that's
Yeah.
when I realized that carbs is not your problem, because at that time I was eating carbs.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I mean, for me personally, having the milk allergy also made it very easy to go vegan because there's so many products that use milk additives that I normally couldn't eat anyway. And even a lot of meat products will, with the hormones and the different injections that they give to the animals, there oftentimes is a lot of milk byproducts that go into the animals and into different products. So for me, in that sense too, it became very easy to just go vegan because I can't eat, I'm allergic to milk products. I just can't eat the milk products. If I want to live, I kind of want to live. So,
Yeah, actually, that's what my son wanted to, because he's already allergic to dairy and egg.
mhm.
So it's like, can we do a vegan challenge? And I said, my only issue is that he cannot have nuts and soy as well.
Right,
So I
right.
told him it's going to be a challenge for the protein on you because you
Yes,
don't have that nuts and soy,
yes.
right?
And vegans do eat a lot of nuts and seeds and the soy and so it certainly isn't. It would be difficult for somebody who needs to avoid multiple types of allergens. It could be
Mhm.
difficult. Um, but there also are a lot of other ways to get the protein and get your food added, your beans and other ways to get that protein besides nuts and seeds and tofu.
Mhm. So, actually, speaking of alternatives, what do you think are some of the vegan alternatives for protein, for
Um,
example?
well, I mean, I do eat a lot of tofu. Now that does have soy in it, so if you're allergic to soy, that would not be an option for you. But I'm not, so I do eat a lot of tofu. I eat a lot of what's called tempeh, which is another soy-based meat substitute. But if I didn't have those items, that would still be okay because, I could do a lot of nuts and seeds. I do a lot of like mushrooms, which are great as like a
Yeah.
meat substitute. The
Hmm.
texture, you can do a lot with. Lentils are super great for making like a meat substitute. So a lot of beans, a lot of lentils, and then just a ton of vegetables. I love vegetables. Tonight, for instance, for dinner, I did like a rice dish with rice and lentils, and then I had some fresh zucchini, and I sauteed that, and I used a little turmeric with the zucchini, so I spiced it up that way, and I kind of combined it into a bowl dish. But that was just dinner tonight, and I did throw some tofu chunks on it. But that was just like one thing tonight that I ate for dinner.
Well, it sounds good. So, guys, if you want to have like a meatless Monday, not
Mhm.
just being vegan, you could head on to her blog, Dairy Free Gina, and she got tons of recipes in there.
Yeah,
Actually,
definitely.
I checked her recipes when I was doing the vegan, I would say the vegetarian time for me, because I can't go on any Filipino food at that time. It's a big no-no for me. Actually, the Filipino restaurants is a big X for me. I'm sorry, but there's actually a Filipino who's a vegan that she's active in Instagram as well.
Okay.
But it's because it's traditional Filipino food. It's
Right.
like, no, it's not gonna work.
Right.
Like it's tough. You get to miss the flavor and the texture. But yes, guys, you could check her out for recipes. And also, because I know some people who might have health issues that are concerned of like trying to go vegan.
Hmm.
So, can you be healthy and still be a vegan?
Well, I mean, you know what? Yes, of course. I mean, but just like with any other diet, now I'm also gluten free. I have issues with gluten as well, so I'm also gluten free. But just like with any diet, I mean, there's a lot of junk food out there. Let's face it, there's a lot of gluten free junk food. There's a lot of vegan junk food out there. So if you just like eat the vegan donuts or the gluten free donuts, that's not really a healthy diet. So yeah, there's a lot of junk food out there, but that's with anything. So a lot of the research shows that being vegan is beneficial for heart disease, for a lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol. It really helps for people that are diabetics to go on a vegan diet to lower their blood sugar. So there's a lot of health benefits to it.
Yeah.
At
So,
least even reducing your meat consumption. It doesn't mean you have to go completely vegan, but even if you try to reduce your meat consumption, there's so many health benefits from it.
yeah, actually, that's what I mentioned before. When I feel so light at that time. Like I could eat like three full meals, like not counting calories, and then I can have my snacks in there. I was snacking on mushrooms because
Yeah.
there's one I would say from Costco. Okay, Costco, mentioning it, it's like those dried mushrooms, but it's really crunchy. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm eating chips,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yep.
it's mushrooms. So
Right.
it was a good alternative at that time. It's like crackling, like those chicharrones for those Spanish
Sure.
people.
Sure.
That, yeah, that was really good. And then I also added sometimes for rice, like those crunchy toppings when you're
Yep.
craving for
Right.
something,
Yeah,
some
definitely.
crunch. Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
but you know what? I was like really interested of going back again or trying it again or having at least a meatless day in the
Mm-hmm.
week, because I never realized, because the vegan diet is not new. I mean, it's very popular now for the last 10 years probably, or 15 years, but it's been a lifestyle for centuries already.
Sure.
Yeah, because actually I googled it.
Yeah, a lot of cultures eat vegan, and it's not even like it's a special diet for them. It's just their culture. So, it's been around a long time.
Yeah, because I've known like for religious purposes, like most of the Buddhists and the Hindu, they don't actually eat meat and any meat
Right.
byproducts,
Right.
and they are, I would say, not only one generation but a full, what I would say, how can I describe that? A full breed of people who's been
Right.
doing that
Right.
for
Right.
centuries, right?
Right. And it's not a special diet to them. It's just how they eat. It's just their culture. It's the way their lifestyle is. So
Yeah.
yeah, so vegan has been around for a long time, but even for somebody who wants to cut back, if they tried going like maybe 2 nights a week or even one night a week or one day a week or 2 days a week where they weren't having any meat products. I mean, that's like a great way to just kind of mix things up, even change your palate a little bit, and just try it for 1 or 2 days a week and see what it's like.
Oh, I just remembered one of my children before. They said, not, they told me, Mom, it's easy to be a vegan. I could just eat my pizza. You
Pizza out there. I mean, yeah, get a vegan gluten-free pizza. That's okay.
Yeah, they were like telling me, because my other son, that I can eat his pizza all the time. I just eat pizza every day. I'm like, really? But that's not how it goes, right? You should have your
No, no. But
vegetables.
I do enjoy a good vegan gluten-free pizza. I do enjoy.
Hmm. But he was like, I can do it. I can eat pizza every day, every
Yeah,
meal. See, crazy kids, right? So anyway, like I know that you are a runner. Here's also one concern for those people who wanted to try a vegan or a vegetarian diet. If they are active, like if they're
Mhm,
working out, because you are a runner, so I know you have your training days because it's
mhm.
actually long distance running. uh, can you share with us how a vegan diet sustains you on those training days?
Really, I don't do anything different. I don't eat anything different. I might eat a little bit more, like maybe a bigger portion, but I'm still eating the same type of food. And actually, right before this class, or right before this show, I was in a dance class. I also dance. So that's why my meal was a little bit lighter tonight because I actually don't like to dance on a heavy amount of food in my stomach. But I had a coach one time tell me, but lots of times before races, people say, oh, they got to carb up, they got to eat their spaghetti, they got to eat a lot of pasta. And he said to me, just eat the way you normally would. So if you normally would eat like a piece of chicken and rice, well, then eat that before a race or before a long training session. Or if you normally eat vegan, just eat the way you normally would. And that's pretty much what I do. And you can be a vegan athlete. There's a lot of athletes out
Yeah.
there now. There's several football players who actually are vegan. And you can get plenty of protein from a vegan diet and be able to build muscle and train.
Mhm. Yeah, actually, I do have a friend who's also a common friend with my sister-in-law. She is also running, like she's a runner. And then she tried, I think, also last year, the same time with me, to be on she just called it a plant-based diet, which is basically like a vegan.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, that's another term for vegan, right? Plant-based.
Yeah, they're sort of they're almost interchangeable. That's pretty much the same thing. And plant-based is sort of I think a little bit more in today's modern lifestyle, a little bit more acceptable than vegan. Kind of vegan has some, throwbacks to the hippies of the 60s. So I accept plant-based better. But yeah,
Yeah, and we actually, when we were doing it at the same time, and we are having the same experience that we don't feel hungry, like because that's the first thing we were concerned about. Is like we might get hungry like at after 2 hours,
right.
like, but we're like, no, we're full, and then we feel very light, and then also, yeah, she said she lost weight without even trying,
Right,
and
right, yeah.
it's
Yeah, I think like quinoa even, that's another thing that it's a staple in my pantry. I mean, that's just full of protein. So there's so many, the beans are very filling. I mean, there's just you really won't go hungry.
Mhm.
Like you said, you didn't go hungry.
Okay,
And
so
there's so much
now,
more to eat than just a salad. I mean, a lot of people think, will say to, well, even with my milk allergy, they'll say, well, what do you really eat? Like if you can't have milk products, what can you eat? Well, there's a lot that I can eat. So I don't go
yeah,
hungry.
so maybe you can say, you can tell us some of the things that you eat aside from the salad, because you know what, that's what my kids tell me, she's eating cow food or goat food. Goat food. Like if they see me with a salad, they're like, oh, mom is eating like a goat now, she's eating goat food. I'm like, can you be like supportive? But what are the other types of dishes, or maybe some people may not think, that are actually plant-based?
Well, in the fall, so I'm from the Buffalo, New York area. So, our fall vegetables would be like the squashes and the pumpkins. So in the fall, I'll get a pumpkin and I cut it open and I actually stuff it and bake it. And I'll have like a baked pumpkin and it'll be stuffed with either maybe rice or quinoa, maybe some beans, maybe some craisins, some nuts I might throw in there, walnuts, it's optional. And then I bake it in like a vegetable based broth and the whole pumpkin. And it's really pretty to serve that too. That could be a meal. I'll make vegan mac and cheese. I make, traditional spaghetti and meatballs, but I'll use, maybe like a lentil base to make the meatball, or there's some really good products out there now that are vegan meats, and I'll use those. So, I mean, my diet's not really all that different from what other people might think they were eating.
Yeah. So those who want to maybe try to go plant-based or vegan
Mhm.
or even vegetarian, what are your like tips for them?
My tips would be we'll start out slow. So try it 1 or 2 days a week and see how it goes and experiment with different recipes. And since it's summertime now, there's so much fresh vegetables out there. Go to your local farmer's market or, try some, you can make lots of different, there's so much, it's so fun to make like bowl dishes now. So you can, combine some different greens and maybe some grains and your protein and sort of play with that and combine it all into a bowl. I just think eating out of bowls is fun. I don't know if it's just
Yeah.
me, I kind of like eating out of a bowl better than a plate these days. So I would say try it 1 or 2 days a week. At first, see how you do on it. Get creative with your recipes. Don't think you're just eating a salad. Search out other things that you can eat on a vegan diet. Tofu is not just bland and chewy. There's a lot you can do with
Yeah.
tofu, especially if you press it and get all the water out of it. Then you can bake it. You can barbecue it. I'll barbecue tofu in the summer. Same with tempeh. I barbecue that. Um, so there's a lot you can do. I say spices. Spices are key. Like you were talking about the Indian food and the
Yeah.
spices. You've got to, I think no matter how you eat, you've got to have a good spice cabinet. So,
Hmm.
try having lots of different spices. Spice up your food. Just like tonight when I put the turmeric on the zucchini, that might seem a little unusual, but it's really that not only is that an anti-inflammatory, but it's also very tasty with the
Yeah.
turmeric on it. Um, so try different spices because that'll change your palate for something maybe that you weren't used to trying with different spices. So don't be afraid to buy spices. Try them, garlic powder and turmeric, and different spice blends that you can buy these days. I'm sort of looking over at my spice cabinet right now and thinking what's in there. But you can even make your own spice combinations. You mentioned the Indian food, the garam masala. That's a really nice
Yeah.
spice. It
Hmm.
kind of goes with everything. You can throw that on. Think about like if you need to have some crunch, maybe crumbling some kale chips onto a salad. So I think going slow, try it for 1 or 2 days a week. Lots of spices, lots of variety, but it's also doesn't have to be like weird variety because it's stuff you might normally have in your kitchen already or in your pantry. Beans, some nice pastas. There's even like pastas these days that I eat because also I'm gluten free that are made from beans. So I love like the
Yeah.
chickpea pastas because again, that's another way to get more protein. So couple days a week, lots of spices, and you don't have to buy like weird products because it's probably stuff you have in your pantry already. Flavored vinegars are nice because you can use those as
Yeah.
marinades. So those are really nice to have. Um, you know, there's so much out there right now that just really does make it easy to try to cut back on meat, if not going vegan altogether.
Yeah. And there's also like other ice cream, right?
Yeah, there's
Yep.
lots of vegan ice cream out there now. Again, because I can't have milk, I'm actually allergic to milk. So there are vegan ice creams out there. A lot of them are made with nuts, cashews, which again, for some people, they can't eat because they're allergic to nuts. But you could also get like a nice sorbet, which is just fruit
Yeah.
based. And those are delicious and refreshing. So there's so many more products out there now than there used to be. And they're good. They're really good. My husband grew up as eating a lot of creams and cheeses and meats. And he just can't even get, because in our house, we don't keep any like milk products here in the house because of
Hmm.
my allergy. And he just can't even get over how great the cheeses taste that are vegan.
Yeah. Actually, they've improved a lot because,
They have,
like, that's why I
they have.
love the Expo East that we could
Mhm.
have like
Right,
our first try on that.
right, right. Yeah, they have improved a lot.
Yeah, because I remember when we were, because when I think it's almost 10 years now that when my kids has to have to switch to a dairy free. I remember the cheese. They were just like looking at me. It's like, it's okay, mom. I don't need the cheese anymore because
Right.
it's really not that. But now it's like some of them are really like the mozzarella flavor.
Yes.
They would,
And they melt, which is great because if you make a pizza or you make some kind of like lasagna or something, you want to have cheese
yeah,
that melts. So that's a huge improvement too. Like seriously, the cheeses have come such a long way. They're so good. I don't necessarily want to mention brands because
Yeah.
They should sponsor you then, vegan brands.
Okay.
Really good ones out there. And they're not, really that much more expensive than buying a milk-based cheese.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of expenses, I know most people right away when you say it's a particular type of diet or well, because people always call it diet or lifestyle.
Mhm.
It sounds really expensive. So, what are your tips on saving money while also be on a vegan diet or
Mhm.
plant-based diet?
Well, I mean, truthfully, like meat is expensive, especially this past year. Prices on meat have really skyrocketed. So it's not really cheap to be a meat eater because it's expensive.
Yeah.
So buying vegan foods, vegetables, whether they're frozen vegetables, which are delicious, you can buy so many different frozen vegetables now, or your fresh vegetables, especially when they're in season. I mean, those things tend to be cheaper than buying meat anyway.
Hmm.
And then if you buy canned beans, that's a huge savings, or even more of a savings would be to buy bags of dried beans. Of course, you have to cook them then, but that's not really a huge big deal, and you get tons of beans from it. So I would say, your fruits and vegetables are always going to be cheaper than your meat anyway. And then canned goods like the canned beans, your spices, and you don't even have to go to like exotic spice stores. You can go to the dollar store and buy some really interesting spices. So
Yeah.
there's, a lot of ways to save. There's some really interesting subscription boxes now that you can purchase where the food will come right to your house. And for a lot of people, especially with the pandemic, if they didn't want to go out or don't want to go out to a grocery store, that can be a savings as well. But buy in bulk, that's always a good thing. Sometimes buying online, you can find companies that allow you to buy in bulk or are just cheaper online, and will come right to your house. I like to freeze a lot of food. So if you make big batches, just like with anything, if you can freeze something, at least you've got it for another meal. So I might make rice tonight, like I did have rice tonight, but then I'm going to make extra rice because tomorrow or the next day I might use it for something else. Or the lentils I ate tonight, I'm not going to eat them the same way the next day. I might put them into a chili. I might make like a lentil loaf out of it. So you can do a lot with that one product. And then if you're in an area where you can garden, that's another
Oh,
huge
that's
way to
better.
have fun and really grow your own food, know what's in your food. And certainly that's a cost savings too. So, there's a lot of different ways you can save money on a vegan diet.
Hmm. But you are right because I've seen like now we just got I just went grocery shopping. We bought all our meat for the week, and those beef, I would say the beef, the chicken, they're way pricier from before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Like per pound, if you don't notice it, it's really more expensive per pound,
Right.
and and yes, I would say because I go to a lot of to the Asian store and they have a lot of beans in there that are dried, mung beans, lentils. You
Yes.
can buy bags and bags of them.
Yes. Asian stores are great places to shop because you might be able to buy your tofu there too. But you can buy oftentimes items in bulk like beans. But then comparison shop, it's just like with anything, you got to know your prices. So maybe, you go one place for something and another place, maybe you have it sent to you, but you got to know your prices. And if there's coupons that you can use coupons. I mean, there's a lot of the brands out there now that are vegan, if you go to their websites, you can sign up, get their emails. Oftentimes they'll have sales and they'll ship directly to you. So that's another great thing. If there's a brand you particularly like, check them out. See if they have an email sign up on their website, because they'll send you information when they're having sales. And that's another great way to stock up too.
Hmm. Actually, some of them would send you samples as well,
Some of
right?
them will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. It doesn't hurt to send an email sometimes and just say, hey, I'm new to the vegan diet, or I'd like to try a vegan diet. Can you maybe send me a sample? Or sometimes they send you a coupon to get a free,
Mhm.
something or other. So it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, right. Because I know, like, because we've been there with those brands, they are very actually accommodating to share
Yeah.
their product and let you try their product so that you could actually compare it to the others, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So always ask. Another great way to save money.
Yeah, that's good. But you know what? I like that because for me, even though we don't have a big yard, we don't have that. I do have my herbs, my
Herbs are
tiny,
so great. Yes,
yeah,
so
and
great to grow.
hmm they're
And
easy to
and
grow.
easy to grow, and lots of times you can bring them inside over the winter. Like I've got 2 pots of rosemary that I brought in for the winter, and they're sitting in a windowsill right now. But yeah, if you can bring them in, then you have it all year long. And again, herbs are so great to season your food with. You know, vegan diet is not bland. It's not boring.
Mhm.
There's a lot of ways you can jazz things up. Just like, I mean, any food, you want to jazz it up, give it some spice.
Yeah. So actually, I just want to share this because when my kids became, it's hard to give vegetables to the kids, so they never realized that we do have like our meatless days when they were younger. So we would have mung beans, which are actually, just sauteed with onions, garlic, some actually there's some tomatoes, and I'll put a lot of spinach on it. So
Hmm.
it's like a big stew, and then they eat it with rice.
Hmm.
Uh, Actually, traditionally in the Philippines, we have that dish, but they would use like some pork fat in it to saute it. But at that time, I'm like, I'm not buying all these pork fat. So they grew up having that dish as a vegan dish already that they never realized. That's why they would go to Filipino, restaurant. They're like, why do they have meat in this? It should be
Right. You're
vegan.
probably
And
wondering.
yeah, but that was one thing that they loved. They also loved just plain old sauteed spinach, which is
Hmm.
very flavorful. It's just like garlic, olive oil, and then a squeeze of lemon, salt and
Yep.
pepper.
Rich
They
in
could,
vitamins, spinach. Really great.
yeah, yeah, because my kids, they were like, before I was like, don't make it complicated, and they would eat it because they're not big salad eaters. They don't
Hmm.
like those fresh salads and everything because they said it's goat food. but if I saute something like those sauteed maybe spinach, or sometimes we do kale, whatever is on sale, what greens are on sale, they would eat it without issues. They would eat it with rice, yeah, rice bowl. They're gonna put it on top
Right.
and find something crunchy to put on it, and they're good. And of course, the brownies, the bean
Oh yeah.
brownies.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. And it's fun too. Like if you're trying to go vegan and thinking, what the heck am I going to eat? I mean, a stir fry is so easy. You can take really any vegetables that you might have in your refrigerator or bags of frozen vegetables, do a quick stir fry. I mean, super easy.
Yeah, right. And just put some sauce on it, and you're done. And
You're done. You got your rice maybe, or you serve it with quinoa, maybe some rice noodles. I mean, it's like definitely an easy meal.
and I think some people don't realize that some cultures actually do have some specific just vegetarian dishes.
Hmm.
Like one of the things I eat before a lot that I enjoy is those kimchi from Korean,
Hmm.
in the Korean ones. And I just realized it's not just cabbage that they use for kimchi. They use
Right.
radish, and they have different flavors and textures, which is good. And it also have what? Free probiotics on it. You don't have to buy a
Yeah.
supplement.
Exactly. Yeah. Just eat the vegetables. And then that's another way to save money. Eat your vegetables and then you don't have to buy the supplements, maybe. So, you know,
Yeah. I think that's one thing that most people um, get it. I said maybe a little mistake on that is that when they buy in the store, they would look for that vegan logo,
right.
but it's processed food.
Right. And, you know, like a can of beans, you don't need a vegan logo on it because it's going to be vegan. I mean, really, or a
Mm.
bag of lettuce. I mean, it's vegan. One thing I will say, though, since we had mentioned supplements just now, oftentimes vegans can have lower B12 levels because they're not eating the meat products.
Uh-huh.
So it's often advisable to take a B12 supplement. And sometimes iron levels can be a little bit low. So it's just something to keep in mind if you're going to be eating vegan.
Oh, so speaking of iron, because I tend to have low iron, what are the other sources of iron? in a
Well,
vegan.
lentils are a great source of iron. You talked about spinach and kale that has iron in it, and as well as it has calcium. A lot of people will say to me, since I can't drink or eat milk products, how do you get your calcium? Again, there's a lot of calcium that is just natural in products like kale. I get calcium via tofu. There's just a lot of ways to get your calcium without drinking milk. I will say I do take a calcium supplement on top of it because for most of my life, I have never had milk products. And so I just think for me, like it's helpful to me to have that calcium supplement as well.
Yeah. So that is good because actually even those who have I mean I am a meat eater, I could have dairy. I think my calcium is still not enough. We
I
need the
think
supplements.
for women especially, that's always an issue to, make sure you're getting enough calcium. And I think that is actually what helped me to get diagnosed with my milk allergy, because as an adult, at a certain point, I was thinking about calcium and thinking about women's health and how important it is for bone health. And so I would eat like a little bit of yogurt, but that over time, just built up in my system, and just my face, really the way I was diagnosed with the milk allergy is because my face looked horrible. I looked like a Halloween mask. I looked awful. My eyes
Mhm.
weren't really opening. My lips had gotten really big. And I went to the ophthalmologist because my eyes were just horrible. And he took one look at me. He's like, it's not your eyes. You got to go get tested for an allergy. You're eating something that you
Mhm.
shouldn't be eating. And that's how it all started.
Oh,
But, but
really?
yeah, but it made sense because all my life I never um, felt good anytime I had ice cream or had some kind of milk-based product growing up. It always made me sick, and I just never felt well. I
Mhm.
always had skin issues, so it all made sense.
Yeah, because actually now I know a lot of people are figuring it out or learning that they have food allergies later in life. It's
Hmm.
not as a kid. And they were like, I used to eat this. I used to eat
Right,
this. And then my doctor told me I shouldn't eat it because I think we have more information now about food allergies
right,
that unlike before it's like, oh, maybe I just ate something bad, it's not
right,
properly cooked,
right.
right?
And you can develop a food allergy at any point in your life. So, I mean, you could be 90 years old and develop a food allergy. So it is there's a lot of people in this country that have food allergies that maybe never thought, like, oh my gosh, like I can't imagine that I can't have that anymore.
Yeah, because I remember some who just found out that they can't eat wheat, and they're allergic to it. They're like, I'm Italian, I've been eating wheat all my life, like every single day.
Right,
But it's like, and then they was like, why is it that? Like, well, you just starting to have it at what, at
right.
40.
And lots of times it's that buildup, and it builds up, and then it's just like your body can't take it anymore. It's just got that big invader inside, and it's just like it just can't anymore.
Mhm. And for some people, because I know some people are like, no, I'll just, okay, here's a common practice of those people. I'll just take a Benadryl before or a Claritin before I eat the allergens. I think you could do way better than that, than suffer after eating, because there's so many options out there or alternatives
Right.
out there, right?
And really, I mean, that's not going to prevent you from your body perhaps going into anaphylaxis at one point in time, and I mean, a food allergy truly can be deadly. We eat the way we do because we have to survive. So it's risky to do that. If you really have a diagnosed food allergy, it's risky.
I know, because some people are, especially the older ones. I think the younger kids are nicer when you tell
Right.
them that you can't have it, but the older you get, you're more hard headed
My
and will
cat has
try.
joined us. My cat has, if you're wondering what these ears are, my cat has joined us.
Hi.
He had to get on camera.
Of course, you want to go live, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that is really interesting. So, is there something that you missed? Like, what meat have you missed
I haven't
after
missed
being
I,
vegan?
well, I haven't missed meat because, like I said, I was never a big meat eater. But there are times when, sometimes you wish you could just order a pizza and have it,
Yeah.
have a pizza and not have to worry, is it gluten free? What kind of cheese is on it? Did they cross contact it with some other pizza cutter or something?
Yeah.
So there are times like that I do miss that sometimes. Um, but I mean, in general, I've learned, I think that's the thing. When you've got a food allergy, you learn there's so many good foods out there, and you can adapt to your allergy, and you can thrive and really eat well.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think it's more on what you feel after you eat. I
Right,
think
right,
if you feel good, then
right,
because I remember my kids said, because I don't have food allergies myself, only my kids. So my kids are like, you know what, it's not worth it. Sometimes if they're confused if the dish has something on it, or if somebody's like, are they hiding the secret ingredient on this food?
right, right,
They they would all, because we always have this saying in the house: when in doubt, don't.
right,
And then now they would tell me, you know what, it's better because I don't want the risk of having
exactly,
a tummy ache or a breathing difficulty
right,
after eating this. It's not
right.
worth that food.
Right.
Right.
And I think for myself, I don't really like some milk products. I don't really know what they taste like because I've never had them. So, for instance, there's some brands now that have put out some vegan sour cream that I've tried recently.
Mhm.
Um, and I've said to my husband, does this taste like, because I don't know what real sour cream tastes like. I don't know what it tastes like. And I've said to him, does this taste like sour cream? And he's like, yeah, it tastes just like it. Or even some of the cheeses. I don't really know what some cheese would taste like. I know what the vegan cheese tastes like, and I know it tastes good to me. So
Mhm.
in that sense, I don't really feel like I'm missing anything.
Yeah, actually, because that's one thing I learned about my daughter who outgrew her dairy allergy. She was like, she will not drink milk
Mm-hmm.
until now. She would say she might drink some chocolate milk. If you put flavor on it, she will drink it. But if you will drink it straight, she would get the flax milk instead, because she said
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't taste right. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing that she loved actually was the ice cream. Because she said, I know the taste of an avocado, like an avocado ice cream. She knows that, and the one with the strong coconut flavor, because that's what they have, is the
Mm-hmm.
coconut ice cream, because they can't have the cashew. So she's like, I
Right.
know the difference now when they say ice cream is good.
Oh, they like.
but but she's like, that's the only thing that she actually enjoyed. But the rest, she's like, no, I'm good with the dairy free cheeses.
Right.
She's been eating the same thing as well, because she's like, this even tastes better than that kind of cheese.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you get used to something, and it's just like, yeah, that's what it is. I like that. So yeah.
That's awesome. So, it's almost an hour. So, I just want to make sure you don't forget to invite them to your website. So,
Yeah,
invite them
definitely.
there.
Definitely. Please come see me at www.dairyfreegina.com. And it's dairy free, DAIRYFREEGINA, all one word. So on my website, you can find lots and lots of recipes. You can find tips and tricks for, whether you're living with a food allergy or you're trying to eat vegan. There's lots of articles and tips and tricks for doing that. I do some giveaways at times, so that would be on the website as well. You can sign up for my newsletter. But yes, come visit me, say hi, tell me that you saw the show here, and
Yeah.
let me give a question.
And she's also on social media. So, invite.
Yes, yes, definitely on Twitter, on Instagram, at Dairy Free Gina. There's also a Facebook group at Dairy Free Gina. So definitely stop by, say hi, follow me. All that.
Yeah, she's amazing. Actually, one thing I like about Gina is that when you see her social media, you would see information like dairy, like food allergy information, that from the FDA, the latest research. She's not only like a fad diet, people, because some would say it's just fad diet. What is this one? And one thing I also like about your website and social, like anything you put in your social media, is that it's all about being healthy. It's not just about losing weight
Right.
or you know, the positivity and the science is there. She actually loves to share science in for her
Yeah,
kids.
and I think after this past year, we know how important science is. So, I mean, the science is everything. Science is life. So, I like to share that, and I like to, like I said, when I was looking to go vegan or researching it, I was looking for those scientific-based articles, and I was looking to see, what is the impact on climate, and what is the impact on the animals, and then on my health, of course. So, I think that's really important to do that research.
Awesome. So, right now we didn't see any questions, but for you guys who are watching this on replay soon and you have any questions, you can reach out to Gina, you can reach out to me, or you can put it in the comment section and we could maybe follow it up and answer it maybe through another comment as well. So, with that, I hope you get curious with the vegan diet or even plant-based or even vegetarian diet. And maybe she will encourage me again to start a vegan diet because the meat is very expensive, as I told my kids.
Even if
And
you Lent comes every year, so there's your 40 days every year.
oh yes, maybe
Next
right
year. Yeah,
next year.
definitely.
Yeah, maybe I'll do this one. Maybe another 40 days. I'll trick myself, but you know what? Actually, I missed that one. One thing I really miss is the feeling of lightness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't here aside from being like maybe some people are like, what is she saying? I don't feel bloated. That's the
Yeah,
first thing I noticed.
definitely.
It's I think on just the third day alone, I felt like my tummy is not as bloated. It's lighter. I would say the lighter is that I don't feel like I'm very full because sometimes you're
Mhm.
like you're always full, but your tummy's grumbling. It's
Right,
not like that. It feels like
right.
it's just and it's more relaxed. I have to say, maybe because it's easier to digest plant-based food. So I think my tummy is not working double time for digestion, but that is one thing I miss. And I'm not sluggish. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's one thing I
yeah,
realized is
definitely.
that I was not sluggish at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See?
Well, hopefully people give it a try. I mean, like I said, even if you reduce your meat intake a little bit, I mean, it helps in so many ways. It helps our environment, it helps your health, it helps the animals. And it's just fun to try new recipes. So try a vegan recipe even once or
Yeah.
twice a month if you have to. Just start out slow.
Yeah. Maybe one meatless Monday, right? This is what you always said.
Meatless Mondays, yeah, it's a great thing to try. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, meatless Monday and
Well,
Fridays because you don't have any more time to cook.
that's right. Yeah, you just want to just know that the week is over and you can relax.
Yeah. Or you want to feel lighter before you binge on the weekends. Right?
Yeah, that too. Before you do your junk food binging on the weekend, that's a bad idea. Actually, there you go.
Right.
You can
Yeah,
start
I was
that
like,
trend.
yeah, because with Fridays, I said I want to feel lighter because I will binge on Saturday and Sunday. And then I feel guilty Monday. I'll do the meatless Monday again. Right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Very good.
Mm. Oh, sounds a good plan. See, that's why I love Gina. She would just say, yes, you can do it.
It's a good plan. Yes. And again, if you're an athlete or you're trying to be more exercise based or something, you can do it. You'll build muscle. You'll be just fine.
Awesome. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. And hopefully you'll join us again next week. So if you have any questions, reach us at TheFrugalistaMOM.com or at Dairy Free Gina. And we hope to see you again next week.
Thanks for
Bye.
listening. Bye.
Thank
Great to be here.
you.
Thank you.